Hello and welcome back to another video. We've just seen, well, we saw part of Algeria's 4-0 away win against Niger. That takes us to 31 games unbeaten. I think that's the fourth longest unbeaten record in international football ever. Like 31 games is ridiculous, and we are just 6 games off that all-time record, which is currently set by Italy, which is 37 games. But the more important thing is we got the 3 points. That takes us back top of Group A. We're on 10 points, and Burkina Faso are also on 10 points. Burkina Faso beat Djibouti by only 2-0, which was a big shock. Obviously, when it comes to those final 2 games, the goal difference could be important, and our goal difference is absolutely massive. I think we've scored 19 goals across the 4 games. We've just scored 10 goals against Niger in the space of a few days, and what an emphatic win that was. And you've got to say, we actually started off quite badly. The first 10-15 minutes, Niger were all over us, and Baghdad made a huge mistake at the start. We got away with it. There was a good block, and then Mbola, he had to make a save. So at the beginning it was looking a bit scary, but anyway, apart from those first 10-15 minutes, it was okay. Comfortable win in the end. So Belmadi with the team sheet, 40-degree heat, went for a 4-4-2, and you have to say the 4-4-2 wasn't really working. It wasn't really working. Mbola in goal, Artal right back, Fares left back, and then Baghdad kept his place. I can't understand why Baghdad is playing in this game. I don't get it. Like, he slipped after about 2 minutes. He was shocking. With Mandi at the back, only Bennacer and Zerouki in the middle, and they were all over the midfield at the start of the game. That was a bit of a mistake. Obviously, Feghouli came on later in the game in the middle of the park, but Bennacer and Zerouki, Belali had to come in after Ben Rahma's performance. Belali on the left, and Belali was so good. Mahrez on the right. Bounedjah and Slimani up front together. Game started off, like I said, with Niger dominating. Then Belali with an amazing outside of the boot cross. Free header for Bounedjah, and he didn't bury it, and you think his confidence is low. I know he scored later in the game, but that's a chance. Bounedjah has to score. You've got to score those, particularly when we're in the bigger games. You've got to take those chances. And then we grew into the game, and it was just like the other game against Niger. It was the captain, Riyad Mahrez, who saved us. Bounedjah to Mahrez, Belali to Bounedjah, Bounedjah to Mahrez, and a nice tap in for Mahrez, and that made it 1-0. And from then on, the game looked very comfortable. The only problem was we couldn't actually see it. The worldwide feed was cut off. We didn't see the game from pretty much after the Mahrez goal to half time. There was no feed across all channels. Worldwide, FIFA TV, Algerian TV, L'Equipe, like everything was gone. I don't know what happened. CAF send their apologies. It was an absolute disgrace. So the second goal we actually missed, and CAF reported it as a Slimani goal, and we're thinking, here we go again, Slimani scored. Slimani never scored. How they've mistaken Slimani for Aissa Mandi, I do not know. They look so different. It's just ridiculous. So Mandi was the actual one who scored the second goal. A great finish, turn, swiveled, shoot. I don't know what he was doing in the box, to be honest. I don't know why Mandi was so far ahead on the pitch. But anyway, Mandi made it 2-0. An unlikely goal scorer, but it wasn't Slimani like it was widely reported. And then half-time came, a couple of changes by Belmadi. He brought off Yusuf Artal, he brought off Islam Slimani. Bennacer came on, Feghouli came on, and Feghouli had pretty much an instant impact, assisting Bennacer for the goal. Good link-up play between Feghouli and Bennacer, basically dancing around the goalkeeper. Bennacer bundling the ball into the back of the net. He made it 3-0. And then the fourth goal, finally Baghdad Bounedjah got on the score sheet. That will do his confidence the world of good. Riyad Mahrez assisting as well as scoring in this game, setting up Baghdad Bounedjah 4-0. And we saw some interesting substitutions. So Bounedjah had to come off on a stretcher where there was only enough space for his legs, it seemed. His head was falling off. Amora came on. Amora is a really interesting player because he looks like he's got something about him. Amora looks like he could be a real player. He's a bit raw, he's a bit wild, but he's got quality, he's got talent. He's definitely one for the future, only 21 years of age. We do need some young strikers and forwards coming through. We also saw Adam Drogan and Hisham Badawi. I mean, we were 4-0 up. He could afford to take Bennacer and Zerouki off and take a look at Badawi and Drogan. I mean, there wasn't too much to write home about, but Niger had basically given up by then. So, 4-0 win, a comfortable win, 10 points out of 12. And this is like the only group where there's 2 teams on 10 or more points. It's ridiculous. Burkina Faso won't leave us alone. They're on 10 points as well. And you think Burkina Faso are going to beat Niger at home in the next game. So Algeria are going to go to Djibouti in the next game. So both teams are probably going to be on 13 points going into that massive final game in Blida. And you look at today's game, there were fans there in that Niger stadium. The pitch was awful, but there were supporters inside that stadium. We've got to request supporters in Blida for that final game at home to Burkina Faso. I think we're going to need supporters. Now, with the goal difference, a draw should be enough, but we basically can't lose that game. We cannot afford to lose that game. If we lose that game, we're not going to the World Cup, pretty much. So we need to win that game. It's going to be a lot of pressure on that game. And I think having the fans there would make a huge difference and a huge push for the team to send them on their way to the playoff round. So hopefully we can have fans in those two games. But yeah, 10 points out of a possible 12, 19 goals scored in this qualification campaign. It's looking good. Things are going well. It's just a shame that we drew in Burkina because it goes to the last game now. And a lot of teams like Senegal have already made the playoffs. A lot of teams have pretty much wrapped their groups up already. The teams that have won all 4 games. So hopefully it's not going to be a problem when we face Burkina. Obviously the level of opposition between Burkina and Niger and Djibouti is completely different. Like Niger and Djibouti are just terrible. They're terrible. We got very nice in the draws having 2 weak teams. So hopefully we'll get a good draw in the playoffs as well. So interestingly, we didn't see Benrahma today. Benrahma chose to look at Amora rather than look at Benrahma. Something not right there with Benrahma's performance with the national team. That needs fixing up. But anyway, good to get the 4-0 win. We saw most of the game in the end. It was just a shame it cut off in the middle. But thanks for watching this video, guys. Let me know your thoughts in the comments down below. Subscribe for more, and I'll see you next time.